Hey Grace, it's Stephen again, and we are back with one of our worship team members. And as you know, as we've been trying to put some information with some of the faces that you guys see each week up on the platform. And for us, sometimes it's difficult for us to get to know people because we're on the platform before the service starts, then after the service ends, and so some of us have relationships that date back further, and then others are kind of new. With me today is one of our pillars, somebody who's been here for a long time. His name is Ryan. And so, Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family, what you do, and how you got to where you are absolutely one of the coolest places on the planet in front of that mountain right
now. Yeah. So my name's Ryan Gray. We've been members at Grace going on, I guess it's been 10 years, basically at this point. And I've played in the band probably 9 of those 10 years. So, we've been around Grace, not as long as some people. I know Rusty's been here since the beginning. He's got me beat a little bit, but we've been around quite a bit. But anyway, so I'm a teacher in Fort Smith. I teach at Ramsey. Married to Brooke. She's a teacher at Fort Smith. Our kids are 10. One just turned 10, and the other one turns 4 in about 3 weeks. So we're having some quarantine birthdays. But other than that, I really love playing in the band at Grace. It's made me a better musician. It's gotten me more involved in the church, which I think is a good byproduct of playing in the band, making the relationships with all people we play with. I know you guys don't see it behind the scenes, but we're all good friends. We like each other. We talk to each other outside the band, So I've made some really cool friendships and really good relationships in the band Grace. As far as this mountain, hey, we're in Arkansas, I'm just chilling by the lake, kicking my feet up, hanging out.
Yeah. True self-isolation, like out in the middle of nowhere, just right by a lake.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got
exactly.
you. That's good stuff, man. Well, you touched on the fact that you've been at Grace for about 10 years. You've been on the worship team for about 9. You and I actually have a little bit different kind of history. You and I had some classes together in our particular major back in college, man. We shared some, I don't even know how to say it, some hairy times with one specific professor that.
Yeah. I mean, we had some doozies back then. But yeah, we took some classes together at UA Fort Smith in the history program back in the day.
That's right, man.
But yeah, there was a couple doozies in that program for sure.
I remember.
We got through it though.
We did. I remember getting ripped up one side and down the other for a paper that I'd turned in. My goodness. I was like, man, why don't you just punch me in the face next time? That was terrible.
Oh, man.
All right. So you've been at Grace for a long time, been on the worship team for a long time. Tell us one of your most memorable experiences at Grace.
Let's see. Honestly, one of the first aha moments for me at Grace, I wasn't even playing in the band at the time. It was the first Christmas that maybe it wasn't the first. Anyway, it was a Christmas program that they had put on, and Joe, you remember Joe? Mm-hmm. Joe, I guess, kind of put the whole thing together, but they did an ELO version of Christmas with a laser light show and rocking, and they had the fake snow falling down the end of, and I was like, this is cool. This is at a church, but it's rock and roll. It's right in my alley. There's laser lights, there's fog machines, and I was like, I want to be in on some of that. And so it was kind of it just hooked me. The production stuff here is one of the things that spoke to my family, because we like going to concerts. We love music. And so that was one of the things that drew us to Grace was man, the production here is awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one of my best memories. Another thing we did, cardboard confessionals is what it was called.
Sure. Yeah.
We had a sermon series about kind of how people have these hurts and hang-ups that they feel inside and that sort of thing. And we all wrote our hurts and hang-ups on cardboard and then walked up and just basically kind of held them up to the church, just put them out there. Like, this is my hurt. This is hang up,
Yeah.
and just kind of bared our souls to the church. And I thought, there's so many people willing to get up there and do that. And there was some serious stuff people were talking about. And I thought, this is a different kind of place. This is a place where people come and just put their real selves out there. And so that was another thing that kind of stood out to me.
I remember when I first came on staff, I spent quite a bit of time actually going back into old archives of services and videos and things that had been done. And that was one that I remember, it stood out to me as well. Just the vulnerability that it took, to stand up there and put all of your stuff out there for everybody to see. But that's kind of the beauty also of what we have discovered at Grace. And we've been here, it'll be 6 years in January. And, one of the things that I know, man. Yeah. One of the things that we had prayed for before even coming here was just to be on staff at a place where we could establish some roots. And I think we realized pretty quickly that Grace was that place. And it was because of that sort of openness and authenticity of the people that make up Grace Church. And so it's kind of neat to come into
it's just a real place.
Yeah, it is. It's a real place filled with real people.
One of the things that kind of draws us to Grace, a lot of times churches get this reputation, like people that go there and they're fake and they put on a show or wear a mask that they don't wear when they go back out in public. And I feel like sort of at Grace, we are just who we are. I mean, I'm sure that maybe there are some people that are putting on a show at Grace, but I don't know very many of them, because the people I know, real people, real problems and real hangups and real hurt and real pasts. And we're all coming together for the same purpose, to worship God and be ourselves. And so I think sort of the reputation of Grace, and that's one of the things that draws us to Grace too, is just the openness of the people.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Along those same lines, especially in terms of worship, what's a worship song that we do that just sort of wells from within you? What's your favorite one that we do and why?
Dude, any of those Crowder tunes, man, he's just got so much soul. Like Let the Chains Fall. Is that the name of that one? I can't remember.
Yeah, Lift Your Head, Weary Sinner. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's mine. That's the one, especially if I get to sing it. When I see that on the schedule and I'm singing, I'm like, all right, here it is.
And you do it well, man.
That guy's got so much soul, man.
I couldn't agree more, man. And
that is right up my alley.
That's definitely in my top. It's been hard for me to really nail down what my favorite, or even just a few favorites. Normally I've got to put them in like a top 10, top 15 type of deal, because each song means something different at certain times for certain people in certain seasons, and so there's so much power in that. And
Come As You Are is another one I'm a fan of.
Absolutely. That's a great one too, man. And you do that one well too. And so I don't know, you
believe it or not, my favorites aren't just the ones that I sing sometimes.
Yeah.
I just happen to be like, hey, I'll sing that one because I like it so much.
What's funny is like, and Ashley and I, we have a healthy debate. We have a healthy conversation about song selection sometimes, because I don't want to sing a lot. Like one of my favorite things to do is just to play and get to worship, because at that point I don't really have to think. I'm just playing, and I just kind of get caught up in those moments. And that's one of my favorite things to do. That's not true. I do like to sing, but sometimes some of the most worshipful times is when I'm actually just getting to play while you guys sing. And that's fantastic to me. And so, and I think though, we all have that kind of relationship where, we're able to read each other and kind of know where the other one's going to go. And that's right. Part of just playing together and having the kind of relationship that we do. And you guys know, I mean, like you are loved and valued and appreciated by Ashley and I so much. I mean, like, because it's been awesome to worship alongside you guys. We feel blessed and honored to be able to be in that position.
Yeah. Same with me. Like, it's one of those things where sometimes, I wake up early and I'm like, oh, I don't want to wake up and all this. I get there and we start playing and we start worshiping. I'm like, this is why I do it.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah,
is why I wake up early when I don't have to.
yeah. This is
Because
exactly
like,
why we're supposed to be here. Yeah.
yeah, and it really it's kind of funny. The days when I least wake up and the days when I'm grumbling when I walk in the door, that's the days when God hits me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that for me. I don't know why,
No,
but
no, that's fantastic, man. It's almost
he's
perfect.
like, "Oh yeah, you thought so? Well, check this out." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Right, right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right. So we've covered how long you've been at Grace. We've covered how long you've been on the worship team. We've talked about your most memorable experience and also what some of your worship songs are. Tell us one thing about you. Well, tell us something that you like to do outside of family and music. What's something that you really like to do?
Um, well, I mean, outside of the music from the church, I have a band that I'm in myself. Play. I like to play. I write music. Play with my band. But beyond music, I actually just planted a garden at my house today, so I'm kind of into gardening.
That's awesome.
I'm also I do education advocacy. I'm the president of the Fort Smith Education Association. I help write policy for the Fort Smith Public School District. So I'm sort of an educational advocate. I kind of feel like as a teacher you have to be, but I kind of take it a little more seriously. Maybe I don't
Sure.
want to say that, but I put a lot of time into trying to improve education in the state and in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you're taking that stance because, I mean, we need more passionate people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's it. It's relatively painless. And I told you I wasn't going to take a whole lot of your time, but let me pray and then we'll call it quits. You okay with that?
Cool, man.
All right. Father God, we thank you so much for Ryan. We thank you so much for just what he brings, the spirit and the energy that he brings to our worship ministry as well as to Grace. And I thank you for his leadership and his family. And we just pray massive blessings on all of them. Just that they continue to have this heart for service and their willingness to continue to use their gifts and their talents to advance your kingdom. And Father, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to worship alongside Ryan, and we're looking forward to many years to come. And so, God, we know you've done great things. We know you're about to do even greater things. And so we give you all glory, all honor, and all praise. In Jesus' name, amen.